today's topic is yoga and millennials, and what relationship millennials have with yoga, and how yoga can help us in solving a lot of our issues. So let's see if we can add Prarthana now. Prarthana, first let's talk about who exactly are millennials, and then we'll come upon the problems and the general lifestyle of ours and why we have such a bad name. So let's just get into that later. But initially, can you just explain who exactly millennials are and the year span wherein they are born?
Yeah, so sure. So millennials are basically, the people who are born till 1996. If I had to like search the definition, and I also decided to talk about Z, Generation Z. That is basically where I
Yes.
belong to. I
Oh,
I
yeah.
like I'm born in 2000, so basically this whole span. And what I feel that the problems that we are facing are similar, and it is quite unique because our parents never faced these kind of problems. When it was with our
Yeah.
grandparents and our parents, the problems were thoda similar, the traditional methods would work. But with
Yeah.
our age, change is happening rapidly and, it is happening very quickly. And, that has brought about a lot of lifestyle changes as well. And that is why hum log ke problems, so it's very difficult and it is very difficult for us to cope up because as compared to our parents, we have a lot of distractions and we have a lot of issues that we have never faced before. And so that's why decided to talk about a few of them. I think first important one is the level of competition. Everyone out
Yeah.
there is
True.
just there to cut each other's throat, and that's the level of competition that we are facing today, like for marks maybe. So earlier it was for marks and now for us it
Yeah.
has become kisko zyada internship milta hai, kiska CV sabse zyada
Right.
banta
So,
hai.
because even with the lockdown, I remember even with the lockdown, this was a very big deal that how exactly are you utilizing your time? So, how many courses are you doing? How many internships, as you said? So, even with something as severe as this, we figured out a way to, create that competition as to, okay, who's doing
Exactly.
what?
And I think social media has blown this out of proportion, where everyone wants to do everything and everyone wants, the best for himself or herself.
Yeah. And everybody wants to show what they've done. So that's also one
Yeah.
thing which the previous generation never had. So even with your accomplishments, even with your achievements, there was no place for you to go and tell the whole world that, okay, this is what I have done. So now we have that access.
Yeah, so like if you're on LinkedIn and if you see someone your friend's profile, it will like give you like
Yeah.
anxiety for for a large period of time. So that's why a pro tip from me: never stalk your friends on LinkedIn. Okay. So jokes apart, so I thought competitiveness, this level of was one issue. The second issue was obviously this is related to that FOMO, fear of missing out, which
Yeah.
is like I cannot stress how important this issue is because it is affecting everyone and it is affecting at different levels. So because we are seeing, someone else is doing this internship or someone else is getting this course, someone else is getting into this university, we all feel this, somewhere we are missing out on something. And the third problem that we are facing is lack of connection. So we are connected with everyone in the world. We are connected with people who stay in America, we're connected with people who stay in France, or we're connected to others, but somewhere we've lost the connection with ourselves. And in this world where we are outward bond, we are not able to connect with ourselves, and that is, I think, one of the most crucial part. And that is why I see a lot of my friends, they are not able to cope up with all the challenges that life is throwing at us. And the entire year has been very rough for most of us,
True.
and coping up with it has been difficult. And so the next issue our generation is facing is lack of concentration. So we have a lot of things in front of us. We have social media, we have all the OTT platforms, we have everything. Just one phone is enough, to rob you of one day of studying. And if you're just addicted, it won't happen. So as compared to our parents, so parents just had the thing of just going out and khelna. That was the only distraction they have. But now with us, सब कुछ है, जहाँ पे देखो आप distraction है. So and it is becoming really really difficult. And I think one more problem that we are facing is the increased screen time. because I think that that's a post COVID effect, because we are spending a lot of time on screen. So personally, I am attending classes online. So my lectures happen online. I'm supposed to study online, because the notes come online, and plus then I have to give my exams online, and then I'm supposed to do my assignments. Everything has become online. So the personal touch has gone. Screen time has drastically increased, and that is taking a huge toll on our eyes, our body posture, and the way a lifestyle in general. And
Yeah.
obviously one thing is the need to balance it out everything, and the need to have everything. I don't know, but our generation is just obsessed with having everything under the sun without making a lot of efforts. And so this all
I
things
like how
are
you mentioned without
yeah.
without a lot of efforts. I like how you mentioned without a lot of efforts, and we'll come to that part later as well. That why are we also known as the entitled generation as compared to all the previous generations? So I think it's good you made that point because I think whatever you've spoken till now, it's all related to each other. So when you started with competition, then you came to the low level of concentration, then you came to FOMO, and I think essentially social media has played a very important role in all of this. And what you said, that it's becoming difficult for us to cope up. I think just the generation after us, so after the millennials, the next generation, I think it's had it even bad, to be very honest, because I think you all got your cell phones, you all got internet access at a very young age compared to us. So I think that's been a part of you growing up. So that's also one thing which we need to consider. And Faraz has joined us. Thank you, Faraz ji. I hope you're doing well. Yes, go
So
ahead.
yeah, so as I was saying, like these are the issues that we are facing, and like no doubtedly we have all these solutions in like our ancient
Exactly.
practice of yoga. So we always so like I'm sure like even the audience must be knowing that yoga is not just about doing asanas. It's much more than that. It's how you wear your how you live your life, how you look at things, and how you basically respond and not react. And that is the most important thing I have learned from the yoga institute is to respond and not react.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel that for our generation it is very important to learn, because we are lucky to learn from the best. And I think for our generation it's very important to learn. And I think thanks to the pandemic, people have started preferring yoga over gym, because they were not able
The
to go
immunity,
outside.
the immunity angle is also there,
Yeah.
na?
So I see a lot of my friends practicing yoga, regularly. पहले I used to tell them, अरे यार करो practice, तभी कोई करता नहीं था. अभी lockdown है, कुछ option नहीं है, तो कर रहे हैं सब practice, which is like a good thing for me. कि चलो, you are at least putting
Attempting, you're
efforts.
doing it. Yeah.
And in order to solve these issues, I think one important part is obviously parikarmas is developing good feelings towards others. I know it's very difficult because like I was thinking the other day. So in international relations, we have this concept of zero sum game. So it's basically like if I gain something, the other person will lose something. So we view life as zero sum game. कि if you will succeed, मेरे इससे कुछ जाता है. We have
Which
this
is not the
tendency.
case, which is not really the case if you look at it from
Exactly.
a different perspective.
So we I that day I was studying this concept in international relations, and तभी मेरे को strike हुआ because we are doing the same thing. We treat life as zero sum game, and we feel that if someone else is doing better, I am losing something, whereas you are not losing something. You are where you are, just the
Yeah,
other
like,
person is
yeah,
there.
nobody's taking it from you. Like, that's
Yeah,
also
no one
there.
has snatched it. No, मुंह से निवाला छीना नहीं है तुमसे किसी ने. You're just there where you are, and the other person has gone ahead, and we are not able to celebrate that because you feel that something has been robbed from you, and you're not happy in other person's success. And I think the most important thing that we need to learn is to be happy for someone else's success. which is very difficult. And that's why, developing the attitude of mudita, it won't take time. So personally, for me also, it took a lot of time, to understand, because we are in a competitive world where, for एक marks के लिए रोते हैं सब लोग इधर. So in such a scenario, being happy for someone else is nothing less than a utopia. So it is very difficult, but as and when धीरे धीरे करके when we practice, हो जाता है. And what I've learned is, it works better, because you feel like supporting that person, and when you need support, that person will be there for you. So it's a beautiful thing that, I think we can all learn
Yeah.
from yoga. And the next, yeah, you wanted to say something.
I like how you related it to the yogic philosophy, because like usually we view asanas as the final thing in yoga, but I liked how you mentioned all of these concepts, because see, they are very beautiful psychological concepts. So yoga has somewhere it has understood the human psyche, and I literally feel like Maharishi Patanjali, when he writes Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he's talking about all of these things which a human mind will face invariably. So, whatever be the age and time, these thoughts are going to come in your mind. So, I'm sure that maybe the intensity of it was lesser, but 100 years back, also, the human mind exactly functioned the same way. Wherein, if something good is happening to you, I'll be like, okay, I'll be a little conscious, okay, मेरे life में क्या हो रहा है. But now it is just intensified so much because of the competition and because of the
Yeah.
options which are available to us. So one more thing which I feel is we need to be very clear about what exactly do we want. So ऐसा नहीं हो कि we are doing things only because other people are doing it. So we end up putting our hands in all the internships out there, and then we realize कि oh, it's not really making me happy, because that's never what I wanted in the first place. So it's very important, and this clarity I think comes with yoga. So be it asana, pranayam, anything you pick up, and this clarity will come to you only with yoga. The mindfulness as to introspection and what exactly do you like, how exactly your personality is, and then you can decide what you want, what you don't want, and I think that will also help you deal with FOMO in a way, in a better way, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think we need to develop this attitude more, so that, the world will become a better place.
That's
And
it.
I think we are feeling this insecurity because, like I told you, we've lost connection with ourselves. We are not, we are connected with everyone else but
But do you
ourselves.
really
So
feel that we are connected to everybody else? Do you really feel so?
I was not able to catch the last word.
So I said, do you really feel that we are connected to everybody because just because we have applications on our phone? Do you really feel that human connections have enhanced because of social media, or they have somewhere become more complicated?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the blue ticks. I'm talking about why did you not reply to me? I'm talking about why did you not message? I'm talking about all of these aspects. That has it really enhanced human communication and connections, or is it gone somewhere? It has gone a little wrong. What do you feel?
Yeah, I think the like dislike button and everything has
Yes.
intensified this FOMO, because I remember, so when I started out a page on Instagram, a lot of my friends were not following me. So that, baffled me कि अरे यार तुम लोग follow नहीं कर रहे यार, मैंने page खोला
एक ही
है
एक ही
नया,
बटन तो
follow भी
एक
नहीं
ही
कर रहे.
बटन तो तुमको ऐसे ही प्रेस करना है.
And I'm like, I'm putting a lot of efforts. So before this page, I had opened like the politically incorrect ones, and no
Yeah.
one was following me. And then I asked them, and they said, "तू follow back नहीं करती." मैंने बोला, मैं क्यों follow back करूँ? अरे वही वही चीज, अभी मैं personal account पे भी वही चीज देखती हूँ. मैं इधर भी वही चीज क्यों देखूं? मेरा Instagram feed will become very similar. नहीं,
Yeah.
but I want to maintain the follower and following का balance. And that's when I realized that our generation is just crazy about it. Even I have like I know people who brag about their the followers count being more than following count. So there's this crazy idea, and that's, and when I started following back, all of my friends followed me, even my
Okay.
acquaintances, सबने follow किया. And that's why whenever I promote, I do follow back, so please follow. So
Maybe you can write that in your
that,
bio, like I do follow back.
yeah. I just don't understand, just to maintain, so that the Instagram bio looks pretty decent. That's one thing a lot of ये follow. लेकिन ये following followers का balance करने के चक्कर में हम लोग खुद को balance नहीं कर पाते. We are not worried about that,
Because
we
that is
have a
not
lot of
seen, na? That
issues.
is not seen on the profile.
Yeah, what's on the profile is more important, but that balance is important. Your work life balance, your mental health and physical health का balance, वो कितना भी
Right.
बिगड़ा हो चलेगा.
True,
So
true.
हम लोग की priorities ही गलत है to begin with. So I think that's where awareness is highly required.
True.
And it's people like you and me, if initiate a conversation, maybe somewhere down the lane even one person उनको ऐसा लगा कि हाँ मतलब थोड़ा priorities change करना चाहिए,
कुछ तो सेंस है ये लोग जो बोल रहे हैं आके
yeah.
ऐसा शाम को.
It will become much more sorted. And so to talk about myself, I think when we give an example, it helps to understand things better.
Yeah.
And who better can be an example here when when the life model is sitting in front of you. So I started doing yoga when I was in 8th. So when I'm saying I should not use the word yoga, I rather started doing asanas when
True.
I was in 8th standard. And then during the 10th standard, I came to Yoga Institute and did the 7 days health camp. So I loved everything. And, that's when I started taking interested in yoga philosophy. And then I went on to do my teacher's training course. But it was during the teacher's training course, I really understood, what it all meant. So, earlier I had read Yoga Sutras, but that time it was like just bade because I had also learned Sanskrit, so I'm like I can read in Sanskrit, so I used to just read, and then for me
She's
it
being
was
very
more like
modest.
literature.
She's being very modest. She's amazing at Sanskrit. Like she's amazing when it comes to chanting and like reading Sanskrit. So she's just being modest here.
So and then slowly and steadily I understood that what exactly raga means, attachment means, how is like how dvesha actually cripples you, because I never understood why should you not have attachment. Matlab, I never understood the concept, but it was slowly and steadily. I still remember we had this class where I think Shweta ma'am told us she gave away all her photo albums, of her childhood, and
Yeah, I
it made her feel
remember.
better. And I was like, who the hell feels better, yaar? Bachpan ki sari yadein gayi
You'll
hain
be sitting
usme.
crying like किधर गया मेरा photo.
Yeah, and like after the class, I think for one day I was thinking, what kind of person is this? And I think Aarti Didi had also mentioned a similar experience in the same class. So I kept thinking about it, the whole day. And then I realized that it's that thing that makes you truly free. And
We have a
and that's
question.
why.
So you can go ahead. We'll
Okay,
take up the question later.
yeah.
So you can add more to
Would
what
you
you were
want to
saying.
answer that question?
Oh,
Because yeah, my mother's
yes.
giving me looks कि daily routine के बारे में बताएगी.
So, but what
Like
does your
I
daily
do
routine
try to
look
follow a
like?
daily routine.
Yeah,
It's
tell
just
me,
it
tell me.
differs from my online. It depends on my online classes.
So I think you are asking us in terms of our yoga practice, and I think it's more about that, right? So if you're asking me, I do have a routine because you have the work. So my online classes are going on, which means that I do have a routine and a set, classes ka timing is of course there. And I make it a point to do my yoga practice twice a day, like asana practice twice a day. But if not, once is a compulsory thing. Like I don't like missing out on my asana practice, so it's at least once a day. And apart from that, a lot of time actually goes in reading stuff and researching things so that I can present the content. So a lot of my time actually goes on reading and researching and doing all of that. And then there's meditation. So my days are pretty much the similar, like they are pretty much the same all days. So I like that, I like having a routine because I feel it kind of gives me a purpose. So if you take away the routine from my life, I'll be really like depressed and I'll be like, what am I doing in life? So like for some people, routines work really well, and some people don't really like their routines so much. In that case, you will have to make it more, dynamic, and you'll have to keep changing, adding a few things here and there. But I feel that having a good routine is essential. So maybe getting up at the same time, going to bed at the same time. So in my case, it just happens by default because there's work, and the timings are set up in a way. So yeah, thankfully it's working for me till now. What about you?
Yeah, for me, I usually try to take up one thing, and so like I've been working on my sleeping habits this lockdown, because in the initial phase my sleeping habits had really gone for a toss. I used to sleep at 11, and now I've started sleeping at 10. And I think the 21 days wala jo thing, and the 21 days challenge that they
Habit.
say, it
Yeah.
really works. It really works. You try to do it together for 21 days, and then it actually it becomes a part of you. And then
Yeah,
so
true.
what I would suggest is pehle, try to understand what you what how you want your day to be like, and then just try to. So for me, it works with to-do list. Okay, so I make every day, I make a
Yeah, with
to-do
me
list
also. Yeah, with me as
how
well.
my routine is going to be tomorrow. And then, but even if it does not turn out that way, it's okay.
No,
Like
I take it
I
very
don't get
seriously. I take it very seriously.
yes, because yeah, it exactly happened today. So I was supposed to study some way because my exams are coming up, and I did not. So I was like, okay, tomorrow I'll cover that up. So थोड़ा flexibility भी रहना जरूरी है. That's what I
Right, right. So we have Priyambada saying something. Let's just see what she's saying. Uh, Ayla, even I came to the institute when I was at 8th, but on off kiya asana. Okay, started following the philosophy now. I didn't know Priyambada Mangal, you came to the institute when you were that young. I don't know how old you are currently, but I didn't really expect that you came to the institute when you were that young.
but yeah, I think it's the while doing the asana part, we essentially miss on the philosophy part.
But I think everybody started with the asanas because even with me, I think
Yeah.
first 2 years I was practicing the asanas. I don't think anybody in the history has ever learned the asana, like the philosophy first and then done the asanas. I don't think it has ever happened.
Yeah,
Everybody I meet,
I know.
it's always the asanas first.
So, like when we were studying, we had this philosophy compulsory paper in which we had yoga. So till then, everyone in the class was, what is yoga? So everyone was asking me, wo. And then I had this. So I मैंने बहुत पटेली मारा उस दिन class में because like I was all had already finished a good substantial amount of studying yoga philosophy. So
Wow.
yeah. So I think Dhiren, we should go back to our texts and learn what is important. मतलब it's not possible to follow everything, but even if you follow few things ना थोड़ा life sort होता है. And just I feel that we should do simple things like, for example, practicing parikarmas, just being happy for others, being there for others. That for me, it has been life changing because I've been competitive throughout my life. I uh, I just want to prove a point, and maybe it's because of the environment I am in. So, where we all have this urge to, do best. So, I used to feel as a thoda ye when someone else goes ahead. So, but then after actually applying parikarma's, life has been much more sorted, and I'm able to enjoy the success, which is very important. And I think as a generation we need to be happy for others, cheer others when they are doing best. And I cannot say that I've 100% succeeding. I've succeeded in it because I'm a human after all. So it's a work in progress. But I really feel this is an important trend, important quality to pick up, considering the times we are in.
Yeah, so we mentioned something about the likes and the followers, and just it came to my mind now that jokes apart, but there's a reason why that happens. So I just remember that I read it somewhere that it actually gives your brain a dopamine hit. Every time you get a notification, every time you have that number of followers, every time somebody likes your pictures, it is actually creating that, hormonal change in your body. So it's not that it's for nothing. It's actually an addiction if you look at it from a different way. So we need to be very mindful of that. And this happened with me as well, because once I start, so initially I was not there on Instagram. I came to Instagram very later during the lockdown when I had to go completely online. And like after a point, I realized that the notifications are going to keep on coming. You don't have to see them the very minute they come. So it can wait. Although somebody is sending you a message, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to reply, that very moment. So, because what I realized is half the day would actually go in posting stuff, creating things, and then you are just reading the comments, you are just seeing the likes. And I was like, this is not happening because it's taking a huge chunk of my time. So it can wait. So, you don't have to be with your phone all the time, checking those followers and checking kisne follow kiya, kisne like kiya. Because I think it does have it has its high. Obviously, everybody likes to be appreciated, and everybody likes to be in that place wherein you have people telling you and appreciating your work. But then I think you need to be really mindful about it, because otherwise you'll keep living in that high. तो आगे कुछ काम होगा नहीं फिर.
Yeah. So attitude develop करना is like very important. वरना मतलब बहुत बहुत मुश्किल है, because with our generation the challenges are going to just multiply, because once I had, so it's like just the COVID phase. The post-COVID phase is going to be more deadlier, because we'll be
True.
experiencing economic recessions. We'll be experiencing downfall in the society's ethics in general. So it's all like we can see that even now happening, and those are things that are absolutely predictable after a major phenomenon like this. But then it all depends on our choices, and how we respond to it. The situation might not
Exactly.
be under our control, and it all boils down to this. And I think this is something that our generation should learn, because most of us have been served with a golden spoon, like at
You
least
really feel
till
so. You really
education.
feel so. Because I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
so.
So
Because I feel so. And a lot of people will not like it when I say that, but I think it's true. Come on, let's just accept that we do have a better like comfort zone. We do have a better sense of conveniences which we have got as compared to the previous generations. Obviously, I mean, I never thought that making a project or finding information has ever been easier than what we are getting to do right now.
yeah, so जैसे you said, we have opportunities, but आगे जाके things might be ये. So that's why, as as we are going ahead, it's very important to be strong and be there for each other, and that's how yoga is going to help, because for us, we have never faced any major calamity as such. Our parents have seen social disturbances and tough
Yeah.
times, but for us it's going to be a major challenge. So that's why I feel yoga will help us to sail through, also fight the physical ailments as well as the mental ailments, because depression will be on rise, and mental
It
health
already
issues will
is. I feel
yes, it,
the
it is
suicide rate has
already
already jumped
increasing.
up
So
during the lockdown
yeah,
period.
the other day I was reading this report by Samaritan. So basically, they offer online like free counseling,
Yeah.
just in case you're not feeling down, if you're not feeling good, and they have experienced in increase in numbers of people approaching them, and which is
Yeah.
very disturbing. And that's why I feel for our generation it's very, very important to learn yoga. Just be strong. It's I won't say strong is the right word, but understand your mind and body better, so that we are well equipped to handle the challenges that
Yes,
the future is
right.
going to throw at
And
us.
I think we're lucky that we have a lot of information available, so you can actually understand a lot of these things. So I say that because there were so many things I didn't know, but which I have been reading on, and then you realize that it's just the way the human mind works, and you will also figure out that there are ways to deal with that. So for instance, even something like pratipaksh bhavna, which yoga mentions, which is also a very strong psychological, like it's a concept in psychology. They use it for like counseling and stuff. So I think all of these concepts are out there, and we really need to like find out, because the information is right there. and then you need to just apply it in your life, because we can't just go with this, you can't just live your life this way, wherein you are constantly feeling low and you're living with anxiety. And another problem is that we've just normalized it so much that people feel there's nothing we can do about it now. So that is also one thing which needs to change, and I think the first step is to have conversations like these, which will get that little shift in perspective.
Yeah, absolutely true. And I think, though it's fascinating that even though it was yoga is an ancient science, the way our sages have understood our mind and how
Seriously.
applicable it is, even today,
And I think it's gonna get more applicable as the years pass by. Like for
yeah,
every generation, like as we progress, it's gonna be more and more
so true.
relevant.
Yeah, it's becoming more applicable. And like I personally feel even like even the first chapter of Yoga Sutras, if we try to implement in our lives, lives will be more if we try to understand things simple है ज़्यादा complicated नहीं है, and
But do you
that's
plan to like
what
do
we are
something to
trying to
get the
say.
Yoga Sutras
And if
out?
more of us adopt this philosophy, we will be able to navigate all the problems in a better manner.
But do you plan to get the Yoga Sutras, the content which is there? Because I really feel that people like us should actually, explain it to people in a very simplified way, so that people can apply this in their life. Because I really have a dream that most people don't even know what Yoga Sutras are. So I really tend to, feel that people should know what it is, and then they should see how relevant it is to their life. So do you plan to, create that kind of content which can relate with people and which people can apply in their life?
Yeah. I think one of the problems is like when you talk about yoga philosophies, it's it's either
It has a
Ramayana
bad
or it
name,
is
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it has not reached the people. The dissemination of information, wisdom
It's
has
not
not taken
happened.
place, and as it should be, because whenever we talk of yoga, it's that a particular perception has been already built, and I think we need to break the barriers. We need to tell people that we should talk about this. So I think I had done so I had written one research paper about how modern psychology how Patanjali's Yoga Sutra had spoken of concepts of modern psychology. So
Yes.
it was an interesting thing, and that's when I realized this should go out in people. This should reach more people, and let's see if we can try and reach out more people and interest them
Definitely.
in the
Definitely.
philosophy that yoga has to offer.
Wonderful. That was an amazing conversation. Thank you so much, Ratana. And as I told you that we have had it for like, we've spoken for a very long time. We planned on giving the session for like 20-25 minutes, but I knew that that wouldn't happen, because once we get talking, there's a lot to discuss. And thank you everybody who's been watching us. And y'all can tell us if y'all want any specific topics to be covered, and we'd love to cover that. So thank you so much, Ratana.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
It's always good talking to you, and I hope to see you very soon. So I hope that the situation gets better and we can meet.
Sure.
Okay, all the best for your exams. Are your exams done
Yeah,
or are
thank
they?
you. Yeah, they're going to start from 18th December. So let's
Okay,
see.
wonderful.
Yeah,
All the
thank
best for
you.
that. Thank you. Bye.